If you're over 60 and you wake up every morning with a dry mouth, this is not something you should ignore. It may seem small, maybe just a little discomfort, but in many cases, it's your body sending an early warning sign that something deeper is going wrong. And what's even more concerning is that most people brush it off as normal aging, when in reality it could be linked to serious health issues that develop silently over time. 3 of the causes I'm about to reveal are extremely common, and chances are, one of them is already affecting you or someone close to you. The problem is, by the time symptoms become obvious, the damage may already be progressing. That's why understanding these early warning signs is so important, because acting now can prevent much bigger problems later. I'm Dr. Sarah Mitchell, and over the years I've worked closely with seniors who came in with what seemed like minor symptoms: dry mouth, fatigue, slight discomfort, only to discover underlying conditions that had been developing quietly for years. It's not that these signs are always dangerous, but ignoring them is where the real risk begins. As we age, our body communicates differently, and small symptoms often carry bigger meanings. Let's start with the first and most overlooked cause. Dehydration is one of the most common reasons seniors wake up with a dry mouth, but it's also one of the most underestimated. As we age, our sense of thirst decreases. That means even when the body needs water, you may not feel thirsty enough to drink it. This creates a slow, ongoing state of dehydration that affects multiple systems in the body. This is where most people make a mistake. They assume drinking a glass of water here and there is enough, but the body needs consistent hydration throughout the day, especially in the evening hours. Without it, saliva production decreases overnight, leading to that dry, sticky feeling in the morning. I had a patient, a 67-year-old man, who complained about waking up with a dry mouth every day. He thought it was just normal aging, but after evaluating his routine, we found he was drinking very little water in the evening. Once we adjusted his hydration habits, his symptoms improved within days. Sometimes the simplest explanation is the correct one, but only if you catch it early. Studies show that mild dehydration in seniors can also affect memory, concentration, and even mood. So what seems like a small issue can actually impact your overall well-being. What you should do instead is simple but powerful. Drink water consistently throughout the day, not just when you feel thirsty. Add a glass of water in the evening, but not too close to bedtime, and reduce caffeine and alcohol, as they can worsen dehydration. And the next one is even more dangerous. Medications are one of the biggest hidden causes of dry mouth in seniors. In fact, hundreds of commonly used drugs list dry mouth as a side effect. These include medications for blood pressure, allergies, depression, and even sleep aids. The reason this happens is because these medications reduce saliva production. Saliva is not just for comfort, it plays a critical role in protecting your mouth, aiding digestion, and preventing infections. When saliva decreases, it creates an environment where bacteria can grow more easily. This is where most people make another mistake. They continue taking medications without realizing the side effects building up over time. Dry mouth may be the first sign, but it can lead to dental problems, gum disease, and even difficulty swallowing. I remember a 72-year-old woman who came in with severe dry mouth and recurring mouth infections. She was taking multiple medications, and each one contributed to reducing saliva. Once we reviewed her medications and adjusted them with her primary doctor, her symptoms improved significantly. Research shows that seniors taking multiple medications are at a much higher risk of experiencing dry mouth. This condition is often called xerostomia, and it's more than just discomfort, it's a signal that your body is reacting to something internally. What you should do instead is review your medications with your doctor. Never stop taking them on your own, but ask if there are alternatives or dosage adjustments that could reduce side effects. Sometimes a small change can make a big difference. The next one might surprise you. Mouth breathing during sleep is another common cause that many people completely overlook. If you breathe through your mouth instead of your nose while sleeping, it dries out the tissues and reduces moisture, leading to that dry feeling when you wake up. This often happens due to nasal congestion, sinus issues, or even sleep apnea, and here's where it becomes serious. Sleep apnea is a condition where breathing repeatedly stops and starts during sleep. It not only causes dry mouth but also increases the risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, and stroke. I had a patient who thought his dry mouth was just a minor issue, but after further evaluation we discovered he had undiagnosed sleep apnea. Once treated, not only did his dry mouth improve, but his energy levels and overall health improved as well. Studies suggest that a large percentage of seniors with sleep apnea remain undiagnosed. Dry mouth in the morning can be one of the early signs. What you should do instead is pay attention to your sleep habits. If you snore, wake up tired, or experience dry mouth regularly, it's worth discussing with your doctor. Simple tests and treatments can make a huge difference, because what we're about to discuss next is where things become even more serious. Now let's move into causes that many seniors never expect, yet they carry much more serious long-term risks if ignored, because sometimes dry mouth is not just about hydration or sleep. It can be your body signaling deeper internal imbalances that are developing quietly over time. The next one is even more dangerous. Diabetes is one of the most overlooked causes of persistent dry mouth, especially in adults over 60. When blood sugar levels remain high, it affects how your body manages fluids. Excess glucose pulls water from your tissues, leaving your mouth feeling dry, especially in the morning. This is where most people make a mistake. They ignore early symptoms like dry mouth, frequent urination, or mild fatigue, thinking it's just part of aging. But in reality, these can be early warning signs of uncontrolled blood sugar. I once treated a 65-year-old patient who kept complaining about dry mouth every morning. He didn't think much of it, but after a simple blood test, we discovered his blood sugar levels were significantly elevated. That dry mouth was one of the first signs his body gave, but it was ignored for months. According to research, millions of seniors are living with undiagnosed or poorly managed diabetes, and dry mouth is often one of the earliest symptoms. Left untreated, diabetes can lead to nerve damage, kidney problems, and vision loss. What you should do instead is simple but critical. If you experience dry mouth regularly, especially along with fatigue or increased thirst, get your blood sugar checked. Early detection can prevent serious complications and help you maintain a healthy life. And the next one is something most people never connect to dry mouth. Nerve damage, also known as neuropathy, can interfere with how your body signals saliva production. As we age, certain conditions or even long-term medication use can affect the nerves responsible for stimulating the salivary glands. The hidden danger here is subtle but serious. When nerves don't function properly, your body may not produce enough saliva even if you are hydrated. This creates chronic dryness that doesn't improve easily and may indicate underlying neurological issues. I remember a 70-year-old patient who had persistent dry mouth despite drinking plenty of water. After further evaluation, we found early signs of nerve-related issues linked to long-term diabetes. The dry mouth was not the problem, it was the signal. This is where most people get confused. They treat the symptom, not the cause. Using lozenges or drinking more water might provide temporary relief, but it doesn't address the root issue. Studies show that neuropathy becomes more common with age, especially in those with chronic conditions. Recognizing early signs can help prevent further nerve damage and improve overall quality of life. What you should do instead is monitor persistent symptoms. If dry mouth continues despite proper hydration, it's important to get a deeper medical evaluation. Early diagnosis can make a significant difference. The next one might seem harmless, but it's not. Oral health problems, including gum disease and infections, can also cause dry mouth. Many seniors experience changes in oral health due to aging, medications, or reduced saliva production. But when bacteria build up, it can worsen dryness and create a cycle that becomes difficult to break. This is where most people make another mistake. They focus only on brushing their teeth but ignore deeper issues like gum health or bacterial balance in the mouth. Dry mouth actually increases the risk of dental problems, which then worsen the dryness even more. I treated a patient who had ongoing dry mouth and bad breath. He assumed it was just dehydration, but after a dental evaluation we found advanced gum disease. Once treated, his symptoms improved significantly. Research shows that seniors with dry mouth are at a much higher risk of cavities, infections, and tooth loss. Saliva acts as a natural defense system, and without it, the mouth becomes vulnerable. What you should do instead is maintain regular dental checkups, use gentle oral care products, stay hydrated, and consider saliva supporting solutions recommended by your dentist. Prevention is always easier than treatment, because what we're about to cover next is where everything comes together and where you can take control before it's too late. The final cause we need to discuss may surprise many seniors, but it's one of the most important to understand because ignoring it could impact your overall health far beyond just waking up with a dry mouth. Hormonal changes, especially decreased production of certain glands and hormones, play a significant role in saliva production. As we age, our bodies naturally produce less estrogen, testosterone, and other regulatory hormones that influence fluid balance and tissue function. This is not just about comfort, it's a biological shift that changes how your body reacts to medications, diet, and even sleep patterns. The next one is even more dangerous. Sjogren's syndrome is an autoimmune condition that often goes undiagnosed in older adults. It primarily affects the glands responsible for producing saliva and tears, causing chronic dryness in the mouth and eyes. Seniors often mistake the symptoms for simple aging, but the consequences are real. Untreated Sjogren's can lead to severe oral infections, difficulty swallowing, and even complications in other organs like the kidneys or liver. I had a 68-year-old patient who had struggled with dry mouth for years. She tried everything, drinking water constantly, using lozenges and even special oral sprays. Nothing worked. After a detailed evaluation, she was diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome. Once proper treatment began, her symptoms improved and she finally got relief she hadn't experienced in years. Data shows that autoimmune conditions like Sjogren's become more common as people age, but early recognition and treatment can drastically improve quality of life. This is where most people make a mistake. They tolerate discomfort for years, never realizing it's a sign of something treatable. The next one is where lifestyle choices meet long-term consequences. Diet plays a surprisingly important role in saliva production. High sugar diets, excessive caffeine, and alcohol consumption can all contribute to dryness. In seniors, even moderate amounts of these substances can have amplified effects due to slower metabolism and changes in body composition. Over time, chronic dry mouth caused by diet can increase the risk of cavities, infections, and oral inflammation. A 70-year-old gentleman I treated had woken up with a dry mouth for months. He enjoyed a cup of coffee in the morning, sugary snacks throughout the day, and wine with dinner. Once we modified his diet, reduced caffeine and sugar, and added hydration strategies, the dryness began to resolve within weeks. Small changes, when applied consistently, create significant improvements. What you should do instead is simple but critical. Reduce sugar intake, limit alcohol and caffeine, and focus on water-rich foods like fruits and vegetables. These adjustments support natural saliva production and overall health. Now let's discuss actionable steps that anyone over 60 can implement immediately. 1. Hydrate consistently, not just when you feel thirsty. Water throughout the day with a small glass before bed can dramatically reduce morning dryness. 2. Review your medications. Many drugs contribute to dry mouth. Speak with your doctor about alternatives or dosage adjustments, but never stop medications on your own. 3. Monitor blood sugar. Dry mouth may be an early warning sign of diabetes. Early detection prevents complications like neuropathy, kidney damage, or vision issues. 4. Address sleep issues. Mouth breathing or sleep apnea can worsen dryness. Discuss potential treatments or evaluations with your doctor. 5. Maintain oral health. Regular dental visits, gentle brushing, and saliva-supporting products help prevent infections and cavities. 6. Evaluate hormonal and autoimmune factors. Conditions like Sjogren's syndrome are treatable when diagnosed early. Don't ignore persistent dryness. 7. Adjust lifestyle choices. Moderate caffeine and alcohol, reduce sugar, and focus on hydration-supporting foods. And here's a critical safety note before we close. Do not stop any prescribed medications without consulting your doctor. Sudden changes can cause serious complications. These steps are designed to work alongside professional guidance. Finally, the most important takeaway: waking up with a dry mouth is not just a minor inconvenience. It's a signal away. Your body communicates that something may need attention. By recognizing the warning signs and acting early, you can prevent serious complications, improve quality of life, and maintain your independence. I encourage you to comment below. Share whether you experience morning dryness, what strategies have worked for you, or any questions you have about potential causes. Your experience may help someone else recognize a problem before it becomes serious. Subscribe to the channel for more evidence-based health advice specifically designed for seniors. Our next video will cover 5 hidden health problems that silently worsen after 60 and how to catch them before it's too late. You don't want to miss it. Remember, your body communicates in subtle ways. Dry mouth is just one of many signs. Paying attention today can prevent bigger issues tomorrow. Take these steps, consult your doctor, and protect your health.